Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of the More Than Just a Wedding podcast. In full transparency, today is one of those days where I am on deadline to produce a new podcast because it needs to be shared on Wednesday. In the podcast world, we usually will batch videos and have recording days so that they're all ready to go ahead of time. But then you run out of your batch of podcasts, and here I am today. Today is Monday, and new podcast is due on Wednesday. So my biggest effort is consistency, is showing up, making things happen, even if things don't always feel perfect. So here I am. You are going to get a very raw cut version of the podcast today because I am on deadline, and I'm just going to share. I'm going to speak from my heart about an experience that I just went through that I'm still processing in real time. So I invite all of you to process with me. All right, this episode is called No Doubt, Nostalgia, and Why Your Wedding Music Actually Matters More Than You Think. Okay, let me rewind a little bit. So this past weekend, my husband and I were able to go to Vegas to attend our very first concert at the Sphere, where we got to see my favorite band of all time, No Doubt, perform. And this was incredibly special for so many reasons, but a big one being that No Doubt just recently started performing together again. They performed at Coachella, which I was so upset about that I missed it. I had so much FOMO about that experience. So when they announced that they would be headlining headlining the Sphere, I knew I had to go because No Doubt hadn't been together in 14 years. And what was so special to me about this band is it's one that connects me through all the different parts of my life. I hope everyone has a band like that, right? This was, when I was in junior high, a freshman in high school, there's songs during that time period that really speak to me and anything I was going through, same as I, went into, through high school and in college especially. The Rocksteady album was on repeat all day, every day, pretty much my entire senior year of college. That's my favorite album of all time. They recorded it in Jamaica, but it speaks to precious time in my life and ways that I felt about certain things and things that inspired me and ways that I kind of categorized certain memories in my life or, went through different seasons. It's just so uniquely special to me. And then they released another album when I was pregnant with Hannah and Emma. Yes. That album, and that was the last one that they had produced. And even though there were some songs on that album I loved, it didn't quite hit the same way their previous albums had. And so I think that's why they took a break, a very, very long break after that. So as you can imagine, being able to see them perform live again was so extraordinary to me. So I want to walk you through that experience, and I really want to break down how it affected me as a viewer. And I want to relate this to how someone attending your wedding would feel walking through that experience, because believe it or not, they're very related. Very related. Okay, so number one, the build-up, the lead up to the event. The No Doubt marketing team did a great way of teasing this announcement. The very first time I saw it, I was scrolling on my phone and I saw the Sphere light up like an orange. And that's No Doubt, they're from Orange County, California. So in a lot of their artwork, in their first album, Tragic Kingdom, if you remember the music video, Gwen's holding the orange. I knew instantly what that was. And I think only, true No Doubt fans would pick up like, wait, what is happening here? I knew that's what it was about. And that was such a cool way to announce something so spectacular. So, case in point with your wedding, same concept. There are so many different ways to share a save the date. And I'm seeing even more and more creative ways, via video announcements, really beautiful paper design, detailing, anything that lends itself to kind of tease about what your guests are going to expect. It's how you start speaking to them. It's how you start building up that excitement. Okay. So then from there, obviously, announcement was made, tickets were purchased, and then there was the wait. Just like weddings, there's a long wait in between. It takes a long time to plan a wedding successfully. And you want to give your guests a proper amount of time to make their arrangements, especially if they're traveling and so forth. So then when we stayed at the Venetian, which was very conveniently located next to the Sphere. But the Venetian itself they had put together what would you call it? It was an experience. It was kind of like a museum, highlighting No Doubt and their history of everything that they have done from the very, very, very beginning days, because they were a band 9 years before they really had any kind of success, which I find so admirable, because it was just about the desire to produce something that they loved. And I mean, if I'm being completely transparent, I feel like the J Star Wedding Company took about 9 years before it really took off with some speed. So, anything worth building, it takes time. It definitely takes time. So, in this experience, we were able to walk through it, and it was immersive and beautifully done with so many gorgeous artwork pieces, timelines. They had one of the coolest parts was they had a little financial ledger where it showed each one of them had put in $3 in order to buy time in the recording studio. Just, oh, I love scrappy stories. I love a scrappy story that leads to success. It's the essence of, I think, all great things. But anyways, this whole immersive experience, they had scenes from every album. They had like just really cool props. They had like a street sign of, where they recorded one of their music videos. They had, videos playing. They had like an old fashioned couch. They had like the bus that they first got into, this just like jalopy of a bus they piled in to start traveling. They had a bar that was named the Rocksteady Bar. They gave it a whole vibe. Rocksteady, again, is my favorite album. And on that, they had themed drinks. They had signature drinks named, I had the Just a Girl, and it was delicious. They had thematic drinks, as again, anytime you theme anything at an event, it makes it worth talking about. It makes it feel special, and it makes it memorable. Through the experience, multiple different, just really cool things. They had scenes from music videos. Certainly, there were photo opportunities. There were costumes that were preserved. There were all the different band posters. It was just magnificent. It really was. So when I think about that, I think about, as you begin to start to think about your wedding day, how incredible is it if you also tell your story? Start from the beginning. Take us through the journey. And that can be done in so many different ways. It can be done on your website. It can be done at your, bachelorette, bachelor parties. It can be done at your bridal shower. It can be done at the welcome party. I mean, I think the more you share about you and your love and your loved ones and all of the puzzle pieces that have brought you into the space you're in right now, it should not be overlooked. It's really quite spectacular. And I think when you take a moment to honor that and honor those puzzle pieces and what you're building, it really timestamps your life and timestamps your wedding. So Loving all of this. Next, the experience itself. I mean, my goodness, I was so excited. So excited. I will say, leading up to the event, we did get a lot of information sent our way on, what to expect in regards to getting to the facility, walking into the sphere, what you could bring, what you couldn't bring. Every question was answered before I had even thought of it. And that is also what really makes an event feel seamless and makes your guests feel excited when they don't have to do a lot of guesswork. So everything was clearly labeled. We walked through the Venetian. They have this like tunnel that goes into the sphere directly, which was really quite convenient. And then when we got in there, if you haven't been to Vegas yet to watch live music at this facility, oh my goodness, please add it to your bucket list, because I've been to a lot of concerts and I've never experienced anything so immersively beautiful than the sphere. It's I keep some you can't even really like describe what it is. You have to feel it for yourself. But we walk in, I will say they had staff everywhere. Anywhere we would turn, someone's directing, someone's, you know, guiding the group, someone's leading. And so it makes everything feel very easy. Into the concert hall, state of the art. I mean, there were even things in there that we didn't see. I saw later, like robots and beautiful signage and graphics and artwork. The again bar and food, everything was thematic. Everything was named after something in relation to No Doubt in the band, which I thought was really cool. You can do that so easily at your wedding. Literally, you could rename any appetizer. You just have to label it. When your server is butler passing it, make sure there's a label on it. I've even seen where you have like a linen towel that hangs off of the serving tray that has a list of the names. You can name it anything in relation to the two of you and your story. So special. So we got in there. One of the things that really blew my mind is walking from like the kind of like the lobby into Sphere itself. It was wild. I don't know how they did it acoustically, but you can tell immediately when you walk through. There's like a little corridor that you walk through to get into the actual venue where they're producing the concert. The sound completely disappears, and it's just, you don't hear anything until you walk into it. Excuse me one second. And then when you walk in, the screen, mind blowing. It just takes your breath away. This screen that goes on, it feels like into outer space. It's just beautiful, beautiful. And No Doubt had made it very much a visual representation of them, from photos to immersive video clips to artwork, and honoring there was an original lead singer of No Doubt, John Spence, who passed away very early on. They honor him. They honor the original love story of Tony and Gwen, and they went to prom together, and their breakup is what inspired so many of the songs. They have their prom picture up there. They left nothing out, and I felt like that was really, really beautiful when you really honor your story, even the sad parts of it. It's part of the fabric of what builds your life, and so I just love that too. And again, if you relate that to your wedding, it's all about making it personal. I mean, take the extra time to write out the bios on your wedding party on your website. Take the time to collect fun photos from the past with these loved ones. Take time. I mean, you don't have to number your tables 1 through 12. You can give them names. You can, name them after maybe places you went on your first date, or places that you've traveled, or your pets that you have together, or literally anything. It gives people something to talk about and something to remember. So that experience was really amazing. And then when the show started, um, I would say if you were just a No Doubt radio fan, it probably would have caught you off guard because what they did was they told their story through their music and through the immersive experience. And with that being said, they played songs that weren't not all the super mainstream songs that everyone knows. They open the show with "Welcome to the Tragic Kingdom," and it's this really powerful instrumental, kind of ominous, dark song. And then the graphic, if you've seen anything come out, like it, I mean, maybe just I don't even want to describe it. It's so cool. Like if you get a chance to watch the opening of it on YouTube, it's just incredible. And so then they I believe they played 21 songs pretty much straight. They had a few little instrumental breaks here and there where they would, do wardrobe changes or grab water, so forth. But even during those points, there was storytelling and there was video clips. The audience was never left waiting for anything, which is also really important when it comes to your wedding day. Your guests should never feel, what's next? I'm confused. What are we supposed to be doing right now? No, 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 no. That is why your DJ or your band or your, live musicians, there has to be a flow to every part of it. Even when someone's not talking on the microphone, we just have to make sure that there's intentional music being played and that it makes sense that it's happening when service is happening and people aren't just sitting and waiting. There's so much that goes into producing something that feels seamless. It's really anticipating every single sequence of time to make sure that it feels cohesive and so smooth. And then through the concert, again, just the visuals. I mean, it's the future. And I can only imagine what this is going to look like for weddings down the road. I think that couples will get into a lot more graphics, artwork being displayed, use of screens, use of media. I'm excited for that. I really am. And because we live in a digital world now, we have so much content that we can share. It's really neat to see it displayed in different forms that make it most effective. So, oh goodness. And then there were wardrobe changes. Just Gwen, I believe, and she only did a few, but they made sense with the mood in which the set list was moving. Which again, if you're into wardrobe changes for your wedding, so fun. And it's not just for the girls. We've seen guys do it too, and they have a blast with it. It's a form of artistic expression. So, oh my goodness, I welcome it. We just have to plan for it accordingly and make sure that we masterfully put that in the timeline again, so that we're not creating any dead space at all. And then it ended. And I thought for sure that there would be an encore, like they're all normal concerts, right? And my husband was kind of laughing at me. He's like, "No, babe, like that was the end." And I'm just standing there in disbelief, like, "No, it's not the end." But it had to be the end because it wasn't just the band playing; it was all the lighting and the immersive experience and so forth. And so that was different for me, and I didn't want it to end. And at the end too, they had this really cool part of it where hopefully I'm not going to ruin this for anybody, but the last song they played was Sunday Morning. And at the very end, they had oranges like falling from the sky that landed in the audience. And just that, being an unexpected surprise. And then again, it's taking something from the digital world and it's a physical something that you can hold in your hand. That felt really special and really unique. So when you are planning your wedding, I want to encourage you to, yes, there's the logistical side of it. Yes, there's the timeline side of it. Yes, yeah, there's the budget side of it. I want to encourage you to tap into you and your personal artistry and your partner's personal artistry, and really think about what lights you up, what is nostalgic to you, what speaks to you, what are some of those moments, maybe some of the music that connected you as a couple, and illustrate that in your wedding day. Wedding design is also, like, if you really think about it and pay attention to it, it can also follow a lot of music trends too. I mean, hello, Taylor Swift and Lover and the Iridescent. We saw that beautiful color palettes coming out of that. So I just encourage you. I know that there's a lot of business that has to be done with weddings, but give yourself an afternoon, give yourself a weekend to have fun with the inspiration part of it. Think the big ideas, say them out loud, tell your planner what they are, write them down on paper, and let that experience come to life. There's no right or wrong way to do anything when it comes to your wedding day. And that, my friends, is why this is called More Than Just a Wedding, because it's more than just a wedding. It's your story. It's what lights you up. It's what excites you. It's what's different, what's unique about you. Being there this weekend brought me back to my roots in a way, things that I liked. I loved that this band, they're in their late 50s, close to 60s, and they are just up there like a bunch of ska teenagers kicking around and living their best life. And I love that. I think we should all do that. We're never too old for anything, never too old for having fun. I mean, with age comes wisdom, but don't lose the magic. All right. As you can tell, I'm still very much processing this weekend, but thank you to my sweet husband who helped me to make it happen. Thanks to my sweet family for navigating the kiddos and all that is required for parents of 3 children to be out of state for 3 days. It's a very special experience. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for letting me chat through it with you. Till next time.